Students, welcome to the subject Computer Fundamental. We are in chapter Introduction and we are studying the topic Computer Generation. Students, earlier I have told you there are 5 computer generation considered, and these 5 computer generations have got different periods which I have mentioned. In the previous class, we have considered computer generation 1 and generation 2. In today's class, we will consider third generation and fourth generation. And the fifth generation we will consider in the next class. I am classifying this or breaking this generation into 3 periods so that you will understand and there will be no confusion. So we will begin with today's topic, that is computer generation part 2. In this case we will cover third generation and fourth generation. Students, I have told you in the first generation the main components was vacuum tube, which often failed, the filament broke there, and that is why the computers required a lot of maintenance. In the second generation the main component was transistor, but this improved the failure rate and there was less maintenance required. The size of first generation and second generation computers was very large. So the third generation computers, point number 1, were manufactured using integrated circuit. Students, you are aware about the term integrated circuit. This is an electronic chip which consists of number of electronic components on a single chip. You have a mobile, or you have sound system, you have got TVs. In this case, you have studied or you are aware about what is integrated circuit. Point number 2. Integrated circuits are the circuits consisting of several electronic components like transistors, resistors and capacitors interconnected on a single silicon chip, eliminating the need for wired connection. Students, you have seen in the first generation and second generation the electronic components were to be wired. This increased the size, but here the electronic components like transistor, resistor and capacitor are mounted on single silicon chip. So this reduces the size of electronic circuit and hence the computer in total. Point number 3. ICs were smaller, less expensive, more rugged, reliable, faster in operation, consumed less power than circuits built by wire. Students, as a part of the IC's characteristics, they are small in size. As there is mass production, they are less expensive, they are more rugged, you can handle it, they are reliable because there is no hard wire or filament there, faster in operation because switching time is very fast, consumed less power, and there are other features. Point number 4. Because ICs was main component, the third generation computers were more powerful, more reliable, less expensive, smaller and cooler to operate. So as ICs was main component, the computers were reliable, less expensive, because there was mass scale production of the ICs. Since ICs were small, computers were also small, and since ICs dissipated less heat, the computer also dissipated less heat. Point number 5. As far as storage, main memory was magnetic core and secondary storage was magnetic disk and tapes with large capacity. So the storage capacity improved here. Point number 6. High level programming language like Fortran, COBOL, Pascal, BASIC were used. Students, so high level, earlier first generation computers you use machine level language and assembly level language. So in the third it was very difficult to program those first generation and second generation. So high level languages here: Fortran, which stands for formula translation, COBOL, which stands for common business oriented language. Pascal is a language named after one of the scientists who contributed to field of computers. BASIC, the full form of this is beginners all purpose symbolic instruction code. So these high level programming language were used. In the first and second generation computers, you had got batch processing operating system. Whereas in third generation you have got time sharing operating system, which improved the productivity, and online application like airline reservation and interactive query system was feasible. Students, earlier in the second generation there was batch processing operating system. So until the earlier batch of jobs were processed, next batch was not loaded. Here, because of the time sharing among the different users, the productivity increased, and you could have online applications. In time sharing operating system, every individual who is connected to the computer gets small share of time in circular manner. Point number 8. From third generation, hardware and software were separately charged and independent software industry emerged. Students, in the first generation and second generation, hardware and software was developed by same company, and they charge in total. But from the third generation onward, hardware and software were separately charged. Even the new software industry came into being because the new programming language came and new independent software companies were emerged. Point number 9. Backward compatibility was introduced. Students, you know what is backward compatibility? By backward compatibility we mean whatever new products come or new spare parts come, these can be used in earlier computers. Introduction of backward compatibility is very important so that anyone would buy any electronic good such as computer, so that the new parts can be put in old computers. So this is what is backward compatibility. Point number 10. Mini computers whose cost was very less than mainframe computers were built. Hence, smaller companies could afford computers. Students, in the first generation and second generation, you got mainframe computers, whose cost was very high. Naturally, small companies could not offer it. But in the third generation computers, mini computers which were smaller in size, which cost less, were built. Hence, smaller companies which had less budget could offer mini computers. So, point number 11. By 1971, more than 25 computer manufacturing companies emerged. Examples: IBM 360 and 370, PDP 8, CDC 6600 computers were introduced. Students, you know what is IBM? International Business Machine Corporation. PDP is Personal Data Processor. So these are the names of the computers which belong to third generation. Now we will go to next, that is fourth generation. Fourth generation computers, the period was 1975 to 1989. In this fourth generation, point number 1, large scale integration and very large scale integration led to integrating about 1 million electronic components on a chip. So students, in the fourth generation, VLSI technology was adopted. In this case, very large scale integration, you had more than 10 lakhs electronic components mounted on a single semiconductor chip. Point number 2, introduction of microprocessor, that is, what is microprocessor? A CPU, that is central processing unit mounted on single chip. This gave rise to personal computer revolution. Hence, many people owned the computer. Students, till third generation, only big companies could own the computer. but from fourth generation onwards, because of the introduction of the microprocessor, this gave rise to small size computers which were called as personal computers, which you could place it on the desk and use it individually. So every individual could buy the computer because the cost was less. Okay, and high level programming languages could help anyone to learn them and operate the computer. Point number 3, main memory was of semiconductor and secondary memory, that is the hard disk, had large capacity. Students, so in fourth generation also the main memory was of semiconductor and the hard disk capacity was very large. So hard disk is a secondary memory. Magnetic tape and floppy disk were popular, portable, medium. Students, what do you understand by portability? By portability means if you can take software or programs for one place to another, it is called as portable. So this magnetic tape and floppy disk, which contain the programs and data, could be taken from one computer machine to another machine or from one place to another place. So they worked as portable medium. And number 4, improved processing and large storage capacity of mainframe gave rise to supercomputers. So students, so in the fourth generation you have got improved processing and large storage capacity, which gave rise to good processing power. These computers were called as supercomputers. Point number 5, high-speed networking led to local area network LAN and wide area network WAN. So students, when two or more computers are connected, it becomes a network of computers. And if the computers are connected in a smaller space, then it becomes local area network. So computers connected in a room or in a building is called as local area network, whereas computers which are far away and are interconnected are called as wide area network. On software front, new operating system, that is Microsoft Disk Operating System, MS-DOS, or Microsoft Windows, which is called as MS Windows, were developed, and graphical user interface, that is GUI, was also introduced. So this led to simplicity and common man could use the computers. Students, you know, Microsoft is a big software company. They had come out with the software. So they had developed a disk operating system for personal computer. They had also developed Windows, a operating system which is very friendly for the user, and the graphical user interface, which was very simple for a common man to operate the machine. So that is why common man used the computers. Point number 7. In large-scale computers, multiprocessing operating system and concurrent programming language was introduced. Students, apart from PC, you had large-scale computers where number of processors would operate simultaneously. This is called as multiprocessing operating system, and concurrent programming language was introduced. So Unix operating system became more popular in large-scale system. Students, Unix is a multi-user, multi-programming operating system where on one machine which is connected by number of terminals, number of people would operate with the same operating system. Computers in network had communication and shared resources. So the many computers which were connected to main computers, these are called as terminal computers. They could communicate with each other and they could even share the resources. Point number 9. C programming language was adopted. So C is a very popular programming language which is high level language as well as low level language because of its interesting features. For object oriented software design, C++ emerged as most popular object oriented language. Students, there are two programming concepts. One is procedure oriented concept, and second is object oriented concept. So from fourth generation, you had object-oriented software design. So C++ is object-oriented language, whereas C is a procedure-oriented language. Point number 10. General purpose machines were easy to produce commercially. So students, commercial production had started this, and every college, every individual could buy the computers because cost was very less and it was easy to operate. So examples of the fourth generation computer is IBM PC, that is International Business Machine, personal computer, Apple II, VAX 9000 and Cray, etc. So students, we have studied third generation and fourth generation in today's class. In the previous class, we have studied first generation and second generation. So in the next class, we will study the fifth generation computers. So this is, okay, very easy to understand. Okay, you please go through this. You will understand more about these computers when we go deep into the subject. Please write this in your notebook, okay, whatever PDF file I sent, okay, and study. If you got anything, you can give me a call. Thank you.